Good morning sa mga lahat ng nakikinig sa atin sa araw na ito. Ako po muli si Dr. Grace Carol Beltran, ang inyong dermatologist, genetologist at aesthetic surgeon. Ang topic po natin ngayong araw na to ay medyo interesting, no? Lalo na sa mga babaeng nanganak na at saka yung mga tao na nagkaroon na ng injury at nagkaroon sila nito. Ang topic po natin ay keloid formation, hypertrophic scar, textural scar changes, at saka atrophic scar. Okay. So, ano ba ang keloid? Ang keloid ay isang uri ng scar na matigas, okay, firm, smooth, okay, sabihin, wala siyang elevations, no? Smooth siya all throughout, at ito ay shiny, okay, at kuminsan matigas. Lalo na pag matagal na, tumitigas na to. Pero sa simula, pwedeng malambot muna siya. Okay. Bakit ba tayo nakakaroon ng keloid formation? Ang keloid formation ay nangyayari because of excessive or exaggerated wound healing. Pagka may exaggerated wound healing ka, ang iyong mga tissues na nagpo-form ay puro exaggerated din yung growth, no? Dumadami yung ating proteoglycans, yung collagen, yung elastin, extracellular matrix protein. Ayan ay dumadami doon sa mga tao may keloid na scar. Sa ibang scar kasi hindi yun nag-exaggerate, hindi nagpo-proliferate, pero sa keloid, dumadami siya. Kaya ganun ang itsura ng scar. Ang keloid kasi, kapag nag-form ito, dahil sa meron kang traumatic injury, no? Pwedeng by accident, pwedeng burn, pwedeng as simple as insect bite, or as simple as contact dermatitis na na-irritate yung skin natin. Pwede din siyang mangyari kapag tayo ay nagkaroon ng kunyari bakuna, nagkaroon ka ng vaccination, pwede rin magkaroon ng keloid. At marami pang iba, like for example, yung mga laser treatment, cryotherapy, or electrocautery treatment, any form of treatment that injures the skin can produce a keloid formation. Okay, ang kaibahan ng keloid formation sa hypertrophic scar is that ang keloid kasi, kuminsan nagpo-form din ito kahit walang injury, no? Basta lang spontaneously lumalabas siya. At ang kaibahan nito sa hypertrophic scar, ang keloid kasi, it extends beyond the area that is affected. Like for example, andito yung hiwa mo, lumalagpas yung scar. Ang hypertrophic scar, andito yung hiwa mo, doon lang siya magkakascar kung saan ka may hiwa. Ang keloid, gumagapang to, parang Spider-Man, ano? Parang siyang spider pala. Okay? It extends beyond the area of affectation or the affected area. So that is the difference between the two. At saka ang keloid, they can form months or years after the injury. Unlike ang hypertrophic scar, mga days or weeks lang, pwede na magkaroon ng hypertrophic scar. So that is the difference between the two. Ang keloid ay very persistent. Ibig sabihin, kahit na kuminsan gamutin mo siya, nandiyan pa rin siya, ang tagal-tagal niyang mag-heal o mawala yung scar, no? Yung hypertrophic scar pala, sometimes it is spontaneously disappear even without treatment. Pero ang keloid, it is very persistent. Ang hypertrophic scar nagre-regress as years or months pass, no? It can disappear. Ang keloid ay more common in black people, no? Yung Fitzpatrick skin type 3 and 4, sabihin yung mga maiitim, they are more common in those people. At saka yung areas na nagkakaroon ka ng keloid ay more common sa chest, okay? Kasi mahigpit ang balat dito. Okay, sa shoulder, yan, sa hita, kuminsan. Ang keloid ay more common sa black people, no? 16% of black people and Chinese, those people with the Chinese lineage can develop keloid. Tsaka, genetic to, hereditary ang keloid. Ibig sabihin ko, ang parents mo merong keloid, chances are you can also develop a keloid formation every time you are injured. What are the complications of keloid, no? Ang complications of keloid is that there could be a disfigurement. Pag severe, kunyari, like for example, a burn patient na na-burn yung buong entire arm, kuminsan, there is also a loss of function of that limb or yung part ng body mo nagkakaroon ng loss of function. Kasi pag may keloid, mo move properly, kaya magkaroon ka ng deformity. Sometimes also, they can lead into cancer formation. Kapag napabayaan, kunyari, nasugatan at hindi mo ginagamot, this can lead to cancer formation. At saka depende rin sa treatment. Kunyari, radiation therapy ang ginamit mo, this can also lead to cancer formation. Kaya, ang keloid nowadays, iba na ang kanilang approach to treatment. No? So, what are the different approach to treatment pag meron kang keloid? First, we have injectables. Ito yung pinaka-most common na ginagawa namin mga dermatologists. So, we combine 3 types of medicine that can all melt the excessive fibrotic scar or excessive formation of scar or tissue. Yun, binibreak down niya yun, mini-melt natin through the injectables. Some can use vascular laser, others can use radiotherapy, the old method, which can lead to cancer, kaya ayoko na masyadong gamitin yun. Meron namang iba through surgery. Ina-excise mo, and then after a few days, meron kang ini-inject na gamot para mag-stop yung formation ng keloid agad. Tapos, by the way, meron din tayong tinatawag na keloidal acne. Yung keloidal acne, kailangan isuppress mo yung formation ng acne para hindi na mag-keloid yung mga magpo-form pa na acne. So, these are very nice examples of keloid formation that we can treat. Ang acne, lalo na natitreat natin, napiprevent natin ang more keloid formation by treating the acne first. So, yun, after treating the acne, then that's the time we treat the keloid if ever they have already set in or nagkaroon na ng keloid. Other treatments can include cryotherapy, surgical excision, pressure dressings. Kapag malahaba yung keloid mo, kunyari na buong arm, we can use pressure garments, like for example, the 2D grip, no? Sinusot natin yan dyan, kinocompress niya yung growth ng skin para hindi na lumala pa yung keloid at hindi na lumaki pa to. Okay, so that is one treatment. Combined with injectables or combined with vascular laser or other treatment modalities. And then we also have skin needling, but I don't really use that one. Steroid impregnated tapes, subcision, and botulinum toxin injections. Ang hypertrophic scar, mas madaling i-treat kesa sa keloid, no? Ang hypertrophic scar, mas maliit, mas madaling, kumisa nga nagre-regress siya even without treatment. Ibig sabihin, nagdi-disappear siya even without treatment. Other scars include textural scars. Pag nasugatan ka at nag-heal ito at nakita mo na different siya from the other areas of the skin, that is textural scars. Ibig sabihin, yung surface scars mo, hindi siya lubog, hindi siya umbok, pero iba yung kanyang anyo. That is textural scars. And the last type of scar that we are going to discuss is the deep scars. Kung sa Tagalog, ang tawag natin dito, bakokang, no? Yun, yung kung saan malalim at uka yung balat mo dahil maraming tissues sa underneath ng upper layers ng skin mo ang natanggal. Halimbawa na lang, yung mga taba na nandoon na nag-form as cushion dun sa ating ilalim ng balat ay nauka. Halimbawa na lang, sa isang aksidente, na kunyari na nauka yung balat mo, pag nag-heal yung ating balat at that time, nawala na yung fats and other tissues there, o kaya yung pating muscle mo na-affect na, pwedeng lumalim yung sugat. No? Ayun ang tinatawag natin na deep scars or hollow scars or depressed scars. Ang hollow scars naman, kung maganda yung, kung hindi nasira yung upper layer ng balat, pwede natin tumagawa ng paraan na maganda yung outcome na halos hindi halatang may peklat ka. Okay? Kasi, ang gagawin mo, pupunuin mo lang siya, yung tinatawag na autologous fat transfer or filler injections or implants. Kung sa mukha, implants sa tawag doon, ilalagay mo to underneath the skin, kung saan yung uka, para umalsa yung balat. So, hindi halata na meron kang nilagay sa ilalim kasi normal yung upper layers ng skin mo. So, that's one of the easiest to do. Pag maliit naman yung uka, pwede mo lang i-excise, tanggalin mo yung uka, tapos okay na siya, no? So, these are the better scars to treat. Yung maganda yung surface nila, pero uka lang siya. So, yun. Again, autologous fat transfer, filler injections, or we can put some implants. Like, for example, kunyari, like my friend before, na na-aksidente siya sa eroplano kasi piloto siya. Paglipad niya, hindi umarangkada yung eroplanong paitaas, kundi bumagsak. So, na-damage yung kanyang, yung face. Kaya may mga uka-uka, natanggal yung mga laman-laman doon sa ilalim. Ang ginawa namin, naglagay kami ng metallic implants para din yung bone ay maayos din namin, mapagdikit at maging maporma uli yung balat. Although syempre hindi naman perfect, pero at least hindi halata na nauka yung balat. Ayan. So for all those listeners today, if you have more questions, you can just call me at the following numbers. And also, please like and share my account. Until our next meeting again, thank you very much for listening to me at maging masaya po tayo araw-araw. Bye-bye!